Okay. Okay. And we're gonna have us all edited and stuff like that. So if we mess up something, we'll say just take that part out or whatever, which
Perfect.
I don't think we will. Great. So okay. All right. All right. So hi, Youth Feel Life community. Welcome back. So I'm super excited. Today we have on Teresa Tarrant. She is an athlete and a professional pickleball player. So we also sponsor her in some of her protocols and health journeys. So welcome. And I'm so excited to talk
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank
So
you. I'm excited to be here.
yeah, so you and I have nerded out on this stuff like crazy. We're both big biohackers. We love to feel our best and run our best. And yeah, so let's talk about your journey. And so how did you get started as an athlete and a professional pickleball player?
So, as an athlete, I basically started out playing sports my whole life. I mean, I had a ball in my hand from whatever sport it could be. But how did I end up in pickleball? Pickleball was a journey of refusal of not wanting to play with a strange paddle and a plastic ball, to Simone Jardim talking me into trying it. Local CEO dragged me out on a court, and within 15 minutes, I was hooked. My journey went straight to 2 years of competition every single weekend that I could join. And then came COVID, and the final step was I was at 5-0. I was winning, I was excelling, doing great. I didn't know what the next step would be, and I jumped into senior pro. 3 years later, multiple medals later, money, a lot of money later. And now I'm enjoying one of the fastest growing sports in the country, in the world.
It has just exploded. I feel like it was after COVID. It did too, like especially around here for my friends where I'm in Michigan, you're in Florida, but like it has just been, I can't believe how much it's exploded. But I think because it is such a fun game to play and it's not so harsh on your body as tennis is, right?
Correct. It's a
Yes.
much smaller court. It's inclusive, so every age can play it. We also have wheelchair players that are playing it. I actually played in the U.S. Open with a wheelchair in the hybrid event. We were actually in the bronze medal match, and I was the only female left. And unfortunately, we did not pull it out because we were playing the number one player in the world at that time. So he's amazing, and even hybrid and having wheelchair players, people that normally don't have an outlet, now they can get on the court and play pickleball and also have the camaraderie and the friendships and the people. And it's just so much more than just a sport.
Yeah, changing lives in more than just a exercise way. So yeah,
100%.
that's amazing. I know I've heard, I told you my dirty little secret is I've never actually played pickleball. I've had so many friends want me to try. Not that I don't want to, but I feel like what I need to do is fly down and just have a lesson with you and not just go straight to the good stuff.
You know what? We have
Pick up
intro
any bad habits.
pickleball. Yes, you don't have to pick up bad habits. We have intro to pickleball. There's so many places now that have intro pickleball for beginners. And so they're teaching you the right way from the very start. So even in Michigan, I know they have those intro classes. I could connect you with somebody very good.
We do have a indoor pickleball court place that opened right down the street for me. So literally just opened.
Perfect.
So it's
Better
a,
yet. Well, then
I'll
I'll have to send you a paddle and some balls, and I'll get you connected.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna do that. So tell me, so I know you really treat your body so well. And you have to stay in tip-top shape. You have to be on that
Right.
court all the time. You're constantly coaching. You're always competing. And so tell me a little bit about your health regimen and your nutrition and your workouts. What does a day look like for you?
You're going to shake your head, and most people do when they hear what I do during a day. So, my normal day is I'm on court teaching anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. Then it goes to drilling, and I do in between my drills, whether it's off a ball machine, whether I'm drilling with another human being, or just drop hitting wall hits. Then I'm doing walking squats and leg work in between to burn my legs out, because pickleball goes all day long. You have to be in top condition mentally and physically to outlast a day if you're going to make it to a medal round. It could be 8 hour day, 10 hour day, 12 hour day, depending on how long you stay in. So my regimen, I work out anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day, sometimes double sessions. My day could be 10 hours on court and working out and drilling and stretching. So my diet has to be very, very clean. I do not eat sugar. I do not drink alcohol. I drink a lot of water all day long, a lot of electrolytes in Florida, because obviously we lose so many electrolytes in Florida. But my diet is basically heavy on the protein, Um, Light on the carbs, enough to keep me exercising and keep me energized, but a lot of vegetables and a lot of natural fruits. Again, no sugar, no processed food, nothing out of a bag. So I take
Mhm.
protein shakes with me to the court in a cooler. So that's my in between workouts. Yeah, I'm a little crazy, but I'm also going to be 58. And I know that window, my time frame is closing in senior pro. Yes, we have senior pro at 60 and above now, but ultimately that window is closing. You lose
Well,
range
it's
of
a different category, and you wanna
correct,
get out of this category that you're still in, which, makes total sense, and
correct.
you really have to do the work.
Well, from a
I'm
health perspective,
27.
I was just going to say, and you look like you're 35.
Well, and that's part of the biohacking. No, I don't spend hours in the gym like you do, and I need to be better at that. I'm always that person. But nutrition wise, I'm always on point. Um, but yeah, and just biohacking my body into doing different things like the fasting and stuff like that. And also type 1 diabetic, been um having autoimmune disease since I was 4 years old, and that it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. And so really
Very
got
much.
me to, making sure I'm doing the best for myself and my body. And again, doctors, they don't mean harm. They're only giving so much information and a statistic, but we're our own individuals and we have to do what's best for us. So that's where that all comes in. And I'm sure and that's, we're going to talk about, the testosterone therapy and things like that. So that's where let's talk about how you discovered youth fuel and got into the testosterone and why it's so important, even just at a minimal, just having it balanced for you. I mean, it's just, I know you've gotten flack in your community for just being, taking some testosterone, but you're not like doing it at a level where it's dangerous and where you're like a bodybuilder. Like all that muscle comes from the hours and hours and hours of work that you have to do. There's no way you'd be either sick or dead if you had to take that much testosterone to get the muscle tone that you were. You'd be in the hospital. Like it would not be healthy for you. So anyway, sorry, how did you get started with youth with us? And tell us about your journey and regimen. Sorry.
So no, it's not a big deal. So ultimately, when I went to my OB-GYN, I was having a lot of problems with lack of sleep, hair falling out, nails not growing, no energy. Basically, just pressing through my day as hard as I could, just feeling like crap. And as you know, sleep is very important. But when I went and got all my blood work back, I realized, and when they tested my testosterone level, it was almost non-existent. Like it wasn't even registering. So being
Wow.
that I'm 58, still on my periods, menstruating, it was very hard on me, and my periods were becoming longer and harder, and I was feeling horrible, but still pressing through my days and still competing at a very, very high level.
Mhm.
So when it was recommended to me to look into some alternative medicine, I don't put anything in my body. Don't do over the counter medicines. I don't do anything. And so the inflammation was growing in my body. I wasn't taking care of myself as much as I thought I was. So I sought out help, and I went to a nutritionist. I now obviously coming to Youth Fuel. I love the fact that Youth Fuel monitors my blood work every single month. They're on top of it every single month. So they're monitoring those hormones at a safe level. And I need that. So from that perspective, Youth Fuel has been life-saving for me. I don't wake up in the morning. I don't have that hangover feel that I felt like I had been drinking and partying all night long, and waking up lethargic and still having to press through my lessons and go on court and not consuming so much caffeine. I've literally gone off caffeine because I was living on caffeine during the day to get me through what I was living. So Youth Fuel has been a lifesaver for me. And testosterone has, in terms of my workouts, it's fueled my energy. It's given me that hope to get back and loving the gym again.
And it's again, it's at a safe level where, I've told people a million times, 47, but I don't want the blood levels of a 40 hormone levels of 47-year-old. I'd like to have them out of a 37-year-old or even a 35-year-old. And there's nothing wrong with that. To get through our day and feel human and have the sleep. What about, I mean, mental clarity? I'm sure you've seen that improve as well. I mean, not just your
Oh,
energy, strength, and it's the mental clarity, your sleep. Of course, we talked about that, but that just even getting that sleep is so huge for mental clarity, but also the testosterone, the right amount, especially for women. People say, oh, so what? You're losing testosterone. You're a woman. That's not a big deal. Well, it really is a big deal, as you just talked about. So talk about your mental clarity as well. I mean, I'm sure that improved.
100%. I mean, I literally, and people laugh about the fact when you get up and then you forget why you got up to go get something and you walk into the room and you go, why am I here? That is gone. I mean, I literally now I can fly around my house. I can remember everything, names. I'm a former school teacher. I can memorize 440 names in 1 week. And I was getting to the point where I'd go to take my lesson or teach my lessons, and I was forgetting names on the court within 15 minutes. And I'm like, what is going on? I just didn't have, I don't know what the fog, I guess is the best way to describe it. I felt like I was always in a fog. And
Mhm.
so now mentally I'm with it. I can keep up on all my bills, so to speak, and remember when they're due. And there was just so many things I was falling behind on. And now I'm mentally out of that fog and I feel like I'm back in my 30s again. It's amazing.
I love it. I mean, and it's definitely such a game changer for so even people that aren't athletes. I mean, it just, I'm not an athlete, but I want to, I want to be able to keep up with my child. I want to be able to keep up with my husband. I want to be able to, my businesses. Just every day I don't want to feel like crap. And it doesn't, again,
100%.
I mean, someone like you, obviously, it's such an edge, and an edge, but also in a safe, you're just at a normal, like where you're supposed to be. But
Right.
it's it's so game changing for so many people. And again, I think, there's so much misinformation out there, between, it's dangerous, they can cause cancer. And, obviously it's only bioidentical drugs or medications that are through our compounding pharmacies that are FDA approved. We're not getting anything from China. We're not getting anything from Mexico. We're not getting anything that's not completely 100% safe. So, and that's where I think there's a lot of misinformation. Also, when people are overtrained, hold on, there's a train coming. We're gonna cut that part out. I literally live by a train track. You want to see?
Oh my gosh. That is great.
Part of the reason why we bought this place is because my son, he's obsessed with trains, so he gets to
Oh,
see
I
the
love
trains.
that.
So anyway, so editor, cut that part out and we're gonna go back. So as we were saying, God, we were talking about the testosterone and um the mental clarity. And then, oh gosh,
Ask me
I think
about the
that's,
stigma. Ask me about the
yeah.
stigma.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, let's talk and the stigma that's around taking anything that even gets you into your normal range, and especially testosterone. So let's talk about that.
So even before I went on testosterone, I'm a gym rat and I was a personal trainer before. So I've always had great muscle mass through my shoulders and my arms. And people started accusing me of being on testosterone. And that was even before I was even on testosterone. And I would say to them, no, I'm not on it, because I was almost embarrassed at the thought of I'm on testosterone. This is me working out in 80% diet. 20% comes from the exercise, but I exercise 6 days a week, lifting weights hard. And so when I got on testosterone, now that stigma for me is gone. I'm being monitored very closely. I now realize that my testosterone was so low that that's why I was struggling so hard to maintain my muscle mass, because I didn't have any testosterone going in my system. And I literally was killing myself to maintain my muscle mass at 57 years old. And so now all of a sudden, that little bit of testosterone, that little bit of boost has helped me enough that I'm now able to be more realistic about my workouts, that I now can alternate days and not press so hard and still maintain a little bit of muscle mass. So, that leafy skin and everything gets really soft and mushy. When Betty's waving back, it's not a good thing. So ultimately, I was frustrated with getting older. Now I'm not. Now I know I'm being the best version of me because I'm getting a little bit of help that way.
100%. And you're protecting your organs. I mean, that's another thing people don't realize. When you're taking the right amount of testosterone and progesterone, estrogen levels, when that stuff is in harmony in the right way, you're protecting your heart. You're protecting,
Correct.
that's the main organs, and your brain. I mean, it's protecting the wear and tear on your heart and your brain. Also, if you're overworking out because you're trying to maintain that muscle, that's also causing damage and wear and tear on your body. That with the right amount of these hormones, it's normal. Like it's you
Right.
can maintain this normally now and not have to work so hard, which in turn, I mean, people are like, oh, you can't work out too much. Well, yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well, that's how
I
my
mean,
injuries, that's how I got injured because I
injuries was my
was,
next thing. Hmm.
yes, the overuse before I went on the testosterone, I was pushing so hard every single day. And I was, granted, 10 to 12 hours every day, 7 days a week was too much. I wasn't letting my body rest. I do need rest. I do need stretch days. But ultimately, having that stigma gone from me and realizing mentally that, you know what, we take care of our houses, we take care of our cars, we maintain all of those. It's okay to maintain your body through a safe way that's being monitored every single month. And now I realize that safety to me is I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm being the best version of me and taking care of me.
Well, and here's the stigma where that's like people will take a statin or a blood pressure medication and they'll take, some sort of weight loss medication, like a type 2 diabetes medication, which we do offer, but we're not treating type 2, but they'll take that instead of, and that's not a big deal. No one sees a stigma around that.
Correct.
you
Right.
know, they'll take that stuff instead of actually trying to prevent having to take this stuff, those drugs that actually have way
Exactly.
more side effects than something like keeping, your hormones the right levels, the proper levels and maintaining that. And also like Simorelin, right? And I think some
Right.
of the protocols are on Simorelin. So that's, that increases your human growth hormone naturally. And it helps with the recovery, talking about recovery for you and working out like you do and the immense amount of stress that you put on your body and just these for in the games that you're playing. I mean, in coaching, I mean, for days and hours you're doing this in a row. So of course, tell me about the Somorlin and how that has really helped your recovery.
There are no words to even express my recovery. So generally it would take me 3 to 4 days. If I worked out really, really hard, I'd still feel that effects for 3 to 4 days, where that soreness would still be there, but I'd still keep pressing. So I wasn't letting those small fibers, muscle fibers, actually heal. I just kept beating them up more and more. So now with this medication, it is actually helped me recover. So a great example is I pulled a double. I pulled 7.5 hours of pickleball in one day. I did 3.5 hours in the morning and then 3 hours in the after, 3.5 hours in the afternoon. I don't usually do doubles, but we play very high level. And I did 22,000 steps. I burned 3,800 calories. And the next day, I was so fearful that I was not going to be able to walk. And I came home, did my regimen of stretching, no matter what time it is. It could be 10 o'clock at night. I'm still stretching and cooling down every single night, whether it's getting in the pool if I can do it. Obviously, that's good for the lymphatic system, but always having that thought process. I woke up the next day and I was like, let's go again. So I did another double session the next day, and then I took a whole day off. Come the next Monday, I did another double session after that. So I played 24 hours in a week, basically, is what I did. I
Yeah.
recovered and I had no soreness. And I was like, this would have never happened. Never happened.
It's just again, this stuff is just life changing. And this is another reason why, with Youth Fuel, like I just try to get the word out of just like you don't have to feel like crap.
Correct.
And you're not doing
Correct.
anything wrong and it's not dangerous. And how often do you take Somorelin? Like it's an injection of like once a week. What is your protocol on that?
It's once a week. And I
Yep.
believe my dosage is 0.25 millimeter, or
Yeah.
excuse me,
No,
small dosage. So
yep. Yeah.
on the
Just
and
a
the
little
insulin.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little goes a long way and gives you your life back, right?
Oh, it's, to be honest with you, I pushed so hard, and now I really realize that yes, it's great to have this little bit of help because I have not been sick. Although
Mhm.
I always sound sick because I'm always coaching, and so I lose
I
my
was
voice
yelling.
all the
You have to
time.
yell out there.
I'm always talking. So, but I do not get sick. I eat so well. I build up, and I try to sleep as much as I can. Don't laugh. I'm old, so I go to bed at like 7:30, wind down for an hour, and I'm asleep by 8:30. Generally, I
Listen,
can sleep all night now, which protocol wise, I never did. I would wake up at midnight. I'd wake up at 2. I'd wake up at 4. And so it was all fractionated sleep. Now I actually can sleep a solid anywhere 7 to 8 hours. And sometimes I go fall back asleep because I'm still tired.
Which
So
also, again, just aids in your recovery and your
correct.
energy level to get through everyday life. And
Correct.
obviously you have your full tilt on your everyday life with your exercising and what you're doing. And just to, again, you don't have to be, someone like you, like an athlete, to really get great benefits out of these medications. And they're peptides, which
For
are
sure.
naturally occurring things in our body anyway. So these are actual peptides that our body creates. So we're just helping it along. And I think that's another biggest misconception about taking things like the Smorlin or the testosterone or any kind of hormone replacement. I mean, even B12 shots. I mean, you do the bio boost with us and the B12 shots.
I
And
do.
I
And
mean,
it's fantastic.
I remember my grandmother, she used to have to go to the doctor and get tested, like to go and get one. And now you can get them, thank God you can walk in and get, because so many of us are really low on B12, and it's such an
Correct.
energy booster for us. And all of our organs use it, all of our connective tissues use it. And some of us have problems methylating it. So if you guys don't know, if you have a certain gene, there's a lot of people out there that have a certain gene that they don't methylate, and it's kind of MTFHR, and it's you don't methylate vitamin B well, and I'm one of them. So if I take that orally and it goes through my digestive system, my body's getting rid of a lot of it. It just isn't absorbing it. So if I take a
Oh,
shot, it does way better on a shot than it does just going to the drugstore or whatever, or a vitamin store and getting it and taking it orally. It just doesn't do as much. So the shots are, and we offer those as well. So, and I know that you take them, I do them, life changing, which is great. And it's one of those things where you can safely do those at home and you can't really overdose on it. I
correct.
mean, I'm sure some people can. I'm going to state that some people can overdose. I mean, we're also in America where everything's like, well, if we do 10, why not do 20? And
There you
no.
go.
And also, just because it's natural doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So we have to be our own advocates. So let me just put that out there. So
But then you can also throw in your body washes out what it doesn't need anyways. So that's a great misnomer for people as well, is that just because you take more, it's going to help you. That's not the case. That a lot of times your body just flushes out what it doesn't need.
right. And again, with also with injecting instead of taking, because we have with even the semaglutide, the weight loss stuff, there are pills you can take, but the pills again aren't as they're not as strong, or they don't work as well, sorry, as effective as doing
Okay.
an injection, because again, an injection is going right into your body. It doesn't have to go through the digestive tract. Now, your body will still get rid of what it doesn't need. You are correct. But even it's again with going through your digestive tract, it's just I'm not saying that's true for any medication or
Oh,
vitamin.
right.
Like,
Right.
it is really more powerful. And some things you can't take intravenously or through the subcutaneous level of your skin. It just doesn't work that way. But majority of things, when you can inject them, it's just way, way better and more effective on your body. So yeah,
Well, I'm going to
absolutely.
throw in one final thing
Yeah.
also, is that my husband got to see firsthand my energy level, my hair not falling out, my nails growing, my sleeping at night. And my husband, who is also a physician, who is skeptical of putting things in his body, is now joined the Youth Fuel family. And he is also on the program every single month.
I saw that. I saw
Yep.
that. And I was going to ask you about it, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Yep.
So
Nope. It's
I,
okay.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. And that's amazing. He's a physician. So, I mean, again, it's not that physicians mean harm. They're only taught with, certain things, and it's not that
Correct.
they're blind eye. I believe they really do want to treat their client or their patients with the best of their knowledge and not harm anybody. But again, it all unfortunately goes back to where you're getting the information, where you're getting the information from, and
Right.
obviously who's publishing it and this kind of stuff. So, but on the majority of this is not no. I mean, these types of peptides are really, I mean, they've been studied for a very long time now. Again, sometimes again, there's certain medical places out there or physicians that are just like, no, they're dangerous, they're going to cause cancer. But again, that's based on very, very, very old studies, and
Right.
we are so many new studies out that are just like it's so beneficial to our health and longevity and protecting our heart health, our not causing more inflammation in your body, which in turn causes cancers and more autoimmune diseases. And this stuff
Right.
is really helping to, again, just as we get older, we're trying to, it's not turn back the clock, just look better, but just feel better and have enough time and energy with our grandkids and our work. And when we still love work well into our 60s and physical work like you do, I mean, why can't we do that? And our brains are still sharp where people are getting advice from us or you're being a coach or a doctor and they're like, yeah, man, you're sharp because we're doing the
Right.
the things we can to keep ourselves sharp and doing what we
Right.
love. So
Well, I'm
yeah.
going to throw in that it's not a quick fix. This isn't something that you can take the semaglutide and everything. That this combination is not a quick fix. You're not going to lose weight overnight. It's not something you still have to drink water. You still have to eat healthy. And I think my husband's 4 years older than me. He's a researcher. He researches every drug that goes into his system. He likes the fact that Youth Fuel actually follows up every month. We're getting repetitive blood tests to monitor our health. But I think from his perspective, he's also a D1 football player. He played football at Michigan State, so he was a lineman, always a big guy. So he literally has lost 45 pounds doing it the natural hard way, diet and exercise, more diet. So when we went on this clean diet together, he basically lost 45 pounds. He's basically down to 100 and I think he's at 192 pounds right now. He was always 240 to 250 through our whole
Mhm.
marriage, and we've been married 31 years. And so all of a sudden he turned the corner. He said, I want to be you. I want to do what you're doing because you feel good, you have energy, you're sleeping at night, and thank you, Youth Fuel. It's made a huge difference in both of our lives now.
Love that. Love that. Again, just also making just relationships better,
100%.
having the energy to enjoy each other and to, just not be cranky. And I just want to sit down and watch TV. And, when you don't have the energy, you're just cranky and yelling at each other. And
Well,
and that
again, the taboo, I will not bring, I'll bring up the sex life. It has made our sex life much better. And I know that that's a personal thing that I'm sharing, but from our perspective, it has really helped our relationship in the bedroom, out of the bedroom. And so it's really another perk to being on Youth Fuel and using the process.
and also why another part of it is our sexual wellness and health. We have a
Correct.
whole other section of that, which, testosterone helps that and a lot of the peptides that we use, honestly, all of it, when you feel better, it's just natural to want more sex and have more sex, especially with your loved one or your partner, and it's good on your mental, your brain, your longevity, your anti-aging. I mean, all of that is great. And that's why the sexual health part of it was so important for us as well, for men and for women. So, it's people underestimate, especially if you've grown up in a more of a we don't talk about sex type of a home and things like that, but it's for your overall health, it's so important and the overall longevity of your relationship or your marriage or, whatever. So
Exactly.
we underestimate that and we hate to talk about it sometimes, but it's so, so true. And I think also when people talk about like testosterone therapy, right away, I think some men especially get to be where they're like, well, I'm fine. I'm fine in that department. I'm like, well, how is your mental clarity? How's that belly? You gaining a little more weight than you normally do and not so much muscle? Oh yeah. How's your energy level? And I'm like, that has to do with all of it, not just the penis part. So,
Right.
but that's
Absolutely.
but people we again, it's so taboo. We think about we shouldn't even talk about that, but it's that's part of your overall health, overall
One
wellness. So yes, I know we really really hard to at Youthful to really we really want you to optimize your health and that we mean it. And I'm so glad you and your husband are getting the benefits. And I know there's more of you out there that we are treating that are just so the stories to tell. And I love watching it unfold. And we all of us here at Youthfield truly do. We love seeing people live their best lives and just life changing for all of it. So I'm so glad. And it was so great talking to you.
Thank you
Um
for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
yeah, we can't wait to see you out on the pickleball court smashing it up because you can.
There you go. And
I
winning
love
money.
it.
So that's the
Yeah,
goal.
I know. So yeah, I need to get out. I know. I was like I said before when I talked to you last week for the first time, I was like, My dirty little secret is I've never tried pickleball. And I know all my friends yell at me too. So I'm gonna have to, yeah, I will. I'm gonna have to go out and drop your name over at a local pickleball place and be like, listen, Teresa told me I need to do this.
Yes, you do. You
Thank you.
definitely do.
Well, with youth fuel and like I want to look, I know I want to be you when I grow up. I mean, we're only 10 years apart. I mean, you look amazing. And because you're doing the things with us. So hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully it continues. So I can't wait to see where this takes me as I now approach my 60s. And I love the regimen. I love the diet. I love the exercise. I love being healthy. And this is my gold medal. Any way I look at it, this is my gold medal. My health comes first. And I've won the lottery with this.
I love
It's
it.
diet, exercise, and a little bit of help to nurture those hormones to make me feel good.
Yeah, we are so happy that we were able to help you with all of that and just love hearing the journeys because it is such it's just life changing for everybody that does
Yep.
get on it. It truly is. So, all right, Teresa, so awesome to chat with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate
And
it.
we don't have to get off right away, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go like click, bye.
Well, I thought
It's
I'd throw in the sexual part of it because I think that
perfect.
from your website, those are all the things that I touched on, at least attempted to, that you
Yes.
guys do with weight loss, with sexual satisfaction, so to speak,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the testosterone. I mean, that touches on everything. So, yeah, it's putting a little bit of my personal information out there, but ultimately, from that regard, and with me being Catholic Polish, we do not talk about it. And sex remains in the bedroom, and that's a private thing. But so many
Mhm.
people struggle with it
They do.
horribly,
They do.
horribly.
I'm learning more and more about that, talking about like what Christy does more of I'm started because she would always deal more with the testosterone side of things, the TRT stuff, and I would always deal with more of the weight loss when I'm taking calls and stuff and helping
Right.
clients today. And it's really even just talking to like, you know, when we're out and about, Randy and I are about and they're like, oh, you have a, youth field company you guys work for, and you like long, yeah. And it's like testosterone. And I'm like, and if it's anyone over the age of 30, men, especially if with men, I'm like, hey, have you ever had your levels checked? They're like, I'm fine.
Right.
It's like it's such an ego
It
thing.
is.
It's a very, especially talking to a woman about it, and I'm like, okay, so how's your mental clarity? How's your energy? People don't
Yep.
realize again, but then I'll go into the sexual part with it because I'm like, it's so important. Sex has gotten such a dirty rap, especially with someone like people like us, like that are Catholic and
100%.
Polish, and like you don't ever talk about it. My mom never ever talked about it. My dad,
No.
we didn't toot in front of each other. We
Right.
nothing, no pooping, no talking
Yes.
about sex. Like nobody was. It was off limits. Yeah, you're going straight to hell.
Well, and that's why I think from my perspective, and I have a male OB-GYN, and
Mhm.
that's why I want a female OB-GYN because they actually can relate. They can understand vaginal dryness. They can understand what I'm going through. I had no sex drive whatsoever. I mean, literally, I thought that it was a dried up cocoon down there. Like it was
Yeah,
done. And
yeah,
so once I went on testosterone, I was like, oh my God, I actually have sex drive again. I'm like,
right.
this is a wonderful thing. And of course, my husband's thrilled, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe how it made me feel like a woman again.
Yes, and people underestimate that feeling of, you're not supposed to feel like that. It's bad. And well, of course, because again, you're supposed to only have sex to procreate when you're making children. That was another
Correct.
pounded into our heads. Like, you're not supposed to really enjoy it. And also, but when you do enjoy it, it is really, it does so much for your mental state for days,
Huge, huge. I
for
mean,
days. And it's like, even
yes,
with your partner, like you, maybe, like you might have been having like getting a little cranky with each other, then you do have sex and you're like you get to connect, and people often underestimate how much connection really goes into that, and then you're just like, I don't even know why I was mad. Why was I so cranky or just short with you?
agreed.
Right?
But after
It's
30,
not just
31,
that.
32 years of marriage, I mean, it's like we already know each other. We've already had sex multiple times now. It's like, man, now we're just living day to day lives and we climb into bed because we're tired. And
Right.
now it's even for him because he just because he just went on the protocol and he's like, I'm coming to Florida, baby. And I'm like, you know,
Here
I'm
we
like,
are.
here we go.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Didn't you guys just sell your house?
We
Um,
did.
in
We
Fl
just
I
closed on
okay.
Monday.
And the only reason why I know that is because I saw that your husband was ordering stuff in our chat, like through Christy, because I have to
Yeah.
monitor that. Because she's actually going to Iceland today for a
Oh
week.
wow.
Good Christy. That woman needs a vacation, so I'm so happy for her. But
Good for her.